Hi, hello, and welcome everybody to a stream. It was a long time coming. I just wanted to go over a couple of things on in general changes that I would really like to see implemented into next season for Jin Kazama. Basically, I am a Jin main. I've been playing him since Tekken 3, although most of the time I had no idea what I was doing. But at that one point, Tekken 7, I started learning and I became relatively okay with him. So in general, as a Jin main, I would like to provide some input in, well, some input into the changes that I would love to see take place in the future. So, first of all, I would like to say that I do not really enjoy where Jin Kazama has been taken as a character. I do enjoy the fact that he has better sidestep, relatively same backdash. It's not changed too much. It wasn't the best, but it is good, serviceable. I do like some changes that they were made. The fact that the thrusting upper hits grounded enemies. So if the opponent is grounded, I am able to hit them with the electric version. See, the normal one misses and the electric one hits. So now I would just like to go over a couple of things regarding Jin, regarding the entire situation, and put my 2 cents into everything. So what I would like to see is a partially returned ult parry. Ult parry that Jin Kazama had, the back 3+4 or back 2 plus back 1 3 and back 2 4. This move, bane of the existence of everybody in Tekken 7 once they started learning the character. Basically a move that could previously parry everything. It could parry armors, rage arts, you name it, it could parry, except lasers. Now, the changes to the parry system were the fact that you're not able to parry armor moves after somebody hits you. You are not able to parry rage arts. You're not able to parry heat smashes. If you do a parry and somebody does a grab, you'll be hit out of it. So let's take a quick look into this, just so you're able to gander a bit better. So as you see, this becomes safe, and even if I try to parry, yep, we have a break effect. We're not able to do it. It's okay. These things happen. It was these changes were made to make the system a bit more aggressive, to push it to a different level. So what I would suggest is, because due to the fact that this is a very skillful type move, because when other parries hit, you either have a guaranteed animation, like with a Sabaki on hit, or like Asuka parry, Leroy parry, where you have follow-ups, or automatically completes an animation. This is a very universal one because it treats a move like it's a whiff move. So if he does this, it's like a whiff. Of course, Jin moves to left or right, depending on the move itself, and that opens up possibilities. Basically, sometimes Jin will realign himself and be on axis. Sometimes he will not realign himself and he will be offside. So your combos will be different to the ones that are on axis. And that is perfectly fine. Add skill. Some moves you can't punish, like jabs. If we record Jin to do a jab, on parry, I get nothing. I just get plus frames. So this is a very skilled based parry, and I do believe that some things should be returned back to it. First of all, starting frames are a frame slower, and active frames are a couple of frames less than previously. Now, the reason why previous parry was so broken is because that the previous parry had no recovery frames. It was absolutely the freest thing you can do. If somebody throws a move, there is a 99% of chance that you will either parry or block. Very rarely do you get hit out of it, and it was extremely broken, and of course people complained about it, as they should. I do absolutely believe that the recovery frames added to this parry, I believe it's 3 times more than previous, are an amazing addition, even more. Amazing addition, I fully agree with that. I couldn't be happier. What I would like to see in return is we return back everything else. I wish that the active frames make a comeback. I wish that the startup frames make a comeback. And I wish that he can parry everything. It would be amazing if a character could be able to, again, parry heat smashes now, armors, everything of that sorts. Armor moves after being hit, because as we already previously shown, if I hit somebody during an armor animation in parry, I get the glass break effect, the parry doesn't go, parry doesn't work. I really think this would be an amazing addition back to Jin. This is one of the things that I am unfortunately very stubborn about, because parry was a big part of my identity as a Tekken 7 player. I really enjoy doing it. I think that it's a very skillful thing to do. I think it's very nice because you have to go through the movesets. You have to see what strings are best to parry, what strings are best to sidestep, duck, everything else. You have to basically understand every situation to be able to utilize this parry to its fullest potential. Of course, you can also mindlessly do a parry on while running moves, and you already know that you're gonna get a launcher, and things like that. Things with big recovery frames. Now, I think that this again would be an amazing addition back to Jin Kazama. Secondly, 214. 214 is universally hated universally hated and universally regarded as one of the best strings in the game. High, mid, mid. Now, 214 was in previous games as well present. Basically the same frame data. There were no changes. This was -9 on block. So if we set up the opponent to block, of course this is not an actual string, so 214 will be blocked. Now, -9 on block. If you delay, you are able to sidestep right, as basically anything with Jin. And and in general +4 on hit. On counter hit, if first 2 hits connect, the third one won't. But on counter hit, excuse me, on counter hit, if the second hit connects, the third one will. This also has an extension, 2144. As this is one of the best strings in the game, this is one of the worst strings in the game. Very reactable, stagger low, -31. You can do a standing launcher, you can do whatever you want. Now, the reason why this string is hated, 214, is because it is high mid-mid, safe, and on counter hit, if we have a counter hit, the third hit will give us a follow-up. Sorry. So we set up counter hit. 214 has a guaranteed follow-up. Guaranteed follow-up is down 2. Excuse me. Thrusting upper. I always suggest thrusting upper, but down 2 is good in a pinch. So, in previous games, 214 didn't give you anything on counter hit. It just gave you more damage, that's it. It would do, I believe, 20 damage. 20 to 22 damage. And it's still +4. Now, what I would suggest is we return back the old state. I would suggest that we return back to previous 214. We remove the counter hit follow-up of the third hit. So remove this, but instead of the third hit being +4, I suggest it's +6. Apart from that, this is a very meme noob killer, a very bad string. I suggest we speed it up by 3 frames. Between 2 to 3 frames, see how it goes. Because you die on hit. You do get a guaranteed follow-up, of course down 2, or thrusting upper. 214 really doesn't need to be anything on counter hit. +6 is pretty good. -9 on this distance means that Jin gives out his turn. So the counterplay to it is just block. Of course, I mean, I know that sounds unfortunately bad, but at least he gives out the turn. You're able to take the turn back. I suggest that nerf for the 214 string. I believe that counter hit follow-up knockdown state is too much. It is too much for a mid-safe last hit of an extension of a string. Then that means the 2144 has no use in the game. This string by default was already bad, and given how 214 is so good, this string is even worse. Another change that I would suggest is forward 4 change. In previous games, 214 had an amazing range. Almost 3 range. Even higher. I suggest that the hitbox was much bigger. Meaning that after the 2 and 1 grabs, you would be able to do forward 4 and it would hit male characters and female characters in previous games. In this game, it will only hit the male characters on wake up, but it will not hit the female characters. Most of them. So what I would suggest is we turn back the range. We return back the range. We return back the big hitbox. But what we do is we remove the easy mode combo, the one where you can just do while rising 4, or where you can just or we can just run up and back 3-1, forward 1. And this is just a slightly harder variation, gives out a bit more damage, better wall carry, nothing too spectacular. What I suggest is we just return back the old forward 4 from Tekken 7, from Season 4. Better hitbox, better range, but the combo is hard. As we all remember, Jin Kazama had a very, very hard combo to do after forward 4 and counter hit. I suggest that we return it back. First of all, it shows skill expression, the combo itself. Secondly, it would then return back the Jin status of being king of neutral with this move. Right now, he does lose to Brian, he does lose to Lily in neutral, he does lose to some other characters as well, but Brian and Lily are now, well, kings of the neutral state, or king and queen of neutral due to their long range. And of course, practically safe moves. Now, again, I suggest that we return everything back like it was in Tekken 7, Season 4. Hard combo, better hitbox, better range. It's a good trade-off. Good Jin players are able to use the move better. And then on counter hit, if you get a counter hit, you're just able to do down 1+2. Previously, that was down 2 when the opponent is down. Or just do down 2. Now, another thing that I would like to suggest is this. Also, this would be a buff to neutral of Jin, but it would be a nerf to playing brainlessly. I do not like that Jin is played really brainless, brain dead, without thinking, just throwing moves out, yada yada yada. That's not what Jin should be. Another change that I would like to say is that I do personally believe, and a lot of people share that sentiment, is that in Heat, Jin Kazama has only Heat Smash. His Heat options are really bad. You get an easy mode electric if you miss it, or thrusting upper, and it takes out a bit of heat. Nothing too serious, you just get things for free. You get Omen Stance, where you have follow-ups. You have follow-up 2, that's a special mid +4 electric, it launches. 1, a tornado launcher, -13 full mid. 3, that's a +2 on block. Also launcher, but slower, can be interrupted and floated out of, and sidestepped as well. Down forward 3, that's fully launch punishable, -23. All characters can launch this. Low, that would have a guaranteed follow-up. The guaranteed follow-up being thrusting upper or down 2. Oh, my mistake. Doesn't even have a follow-up. It's just a regular low, and the electric. That's the 4. Oh, sorry, the Hell Sweep. This is a true Mishima Hell Sweep. The Hell Sweep itself has either a follow-up, that's 4/4, or or it just gives out a launcher, and you can continue from there. Again, you're able to sidestep right all the options, if possible, of course, and a lot of the times people will press into it because the Omen stance as itself is not good. It does give you an armored state, so you can use it defensively. Somebody runs in, they get blasted away, and then they receive the mix-up, but again, this isn't really something that I would suggest. The hitbox itself, really poor, and the range, so I wouldn't suggest this move. But with that being said, that is all very lacking, very lackluster. Jin Kazama has his Heat Smash. So if we press the Heat Smash button, or 2+3, he has a very high damaging Heat Smash. It doesn't wall break, it doesn't wall blast, it doesn't do anything. It's just damage. Very underwhelming. On block, you get into a Zen mix-up on +3. Very underwhelming, not good. What people will do is most likely duck, or just force a sidestep right, or even mash into, because it's just +3. But with that being said, where this Heat Smash lacks, we have the best, or one of the best Heat Smashes in the game. Top 5, 100%. It is 2 plus 3, 4. As you see, instead of going into the full animation, Jin will do a mid-splitting kick. That, on hit, gives out the best wall carry in the game from any Heat Smash that we have available, on the same level as Fang. Both him and Fang have the same range. Now, as you see, the range is ginormous. It is twice as big as a regular one. So what I would highly suggest is that what we do is just lower the range of this by half to make it like a regular Heat Smash. As I do believe that the Heat Smash itself is too strong in this iteration. Like, halving the range would be very healthy for the game. People would not get hit, and they are, in some situations, in practice mode it is very hard to demonstrate, but a lot of the times you can even go farther depending on the angle. If sometimes they hit you by the side, as you see, he went even farther backwards. So you would hit the wall from basically anywhere on the map. The range is amazing. Now, the problem with this move is sometimes the first hit will make the second hit a drop. Unfortunately, that happens on hit, that happens on block. It's hard to replicate, but these things unfortunately do happen. So, what I would suggest, cut the range in half. Make sure that after this hits on the first hit, on block or on hit, it has to glue the opponent in to get hit by the rest. It's very important. It's one of the things that Jin sometimes struggles with, and I will gladly go over it as he does have some bugs. Apart from that, what I would suggest is rework of Omen stance. What he can do is amazing. Story-wise, this is excellent, because in story he accepted both the Mishima, the Kazama style, and of course his own style, that being Kyokushin Karate. So, what I would suggest is maybe this can be fully reworked into something else. I wouldn't really suggest something offensive, maybe a defensive, as in, how about this? it increases the hitbox to maybe range 1.8. 1.8 range would be, or even 1.7. 1.7 range. That's not a big increase. 1.7 range. We increase it, and instead of it being an armor move, it becomes a Kazama parry. So no armor, but it becomes a Kazama parry. On hit, does the same thing. He goes in, completes his Mishima Ryu techniques. Excellent. I wouldn't mind, but instead of that, this is a parry. I think that's a very nice idea to combine both the Kazama and the Mishima side of Jin, and of course his own technique, that being Kyokushin Karate. Now, another thing that I would like to suggest is that on counter hit, my apologies. On counter hit, down 2 is no longer a launcher. I do not believe that that it would benefit that this is a launcher. This is a -14. -14, very good tracking. Not a fully homing, but it has excellent tracking. Low counter hit launcher. That is 22 frames fast. Now, I do not want to go into details if this is reactable or not. I believe that on good connection, and if you're paying attention to what the player is doing, you are able to react to most of the down twos and have a very hefty punish. That is my opinion on the situation. But at the same time, I do understand how very, 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 very strong this move is. I do understand that down 2 as a move is very strong, and one of the best lows in the game. Now, what I would suggest, the down 2 no longer gives a counter hit launcher. What I would like to see is two things. First of all, down 2 gives a follow-up as a thrusting upper or into another down 2. The opponent is grounded. Yeah, you get another down 2. Of course, since the opponent is grounded, it's scaled and everything that comes with it. Or thrusting upper. Get a thrusting upper in this situation. Flip, you lose the Oki. Well, you gain the Oki because they're flipped on their stomach, so you have a mix-up. You can go through, do whatever you want. So, yeah, that's something that I would suggest. Now, with that being said, other things that I would like to suggest as well is that on counter hit, you get a guaranteed follow-up. And guaranteed follow-ups would be either while rising 4-4, while rising 1-2, or while rising Jin Kazama 6-hit combo. Of course, I believe that all of these should be scaled. It shouldn't do 26 damage and then on top of that do the entire string. That would be 35 damage without the counter hit. What I really suggest is that that the moment this hits, it's scaled to 80%, like a full launcher. So it does maximum like between 18 to 20 damage, maybe between 16 and 18. It would be up for debate. that's what I think that would help this move, because I see a lot of people online suggest that down 2 should be -15. Oh, down 2 should be slower. Down 2 this, down 2 that. It wouldn't nerf the move itself, because the move isn't used as a poke. This move is used when I know that somebody will throw out a high, and I do it as a counter hit. That's his purpose. The purpose is a counter hit launcher. It's not the purpose of doing a poke. So that's one of the things that I would suggest. Remains basically the same, except that you maximum get 40 damage out of it, and then -14 frames would be justified. Reactability, again, it's up to debate, but I think that way the move would be very well nerfed. On top of those things, I would highly suggest that we start returning back to roots. Now, as people might know, people that I talk to, I think that having a launcher from Wind Hook Fist is bad. I would say that even Jin having an Electric Wind Hook Fist launcher is also bad. Now, why do you say that? Jin Kazama, people like to say that he's a perfect character. I don't believe so, because he's very easily countered by sidestep right duck. It counters most of his entire kit. So what I would suggest is that we, as a character's strength, we start toning everything down so we can provide something back. So what we should do is remove Electric as a launcher. This is no longer a launcher. This move should return back to the old Tekken 5 state, where the opponent would be flown backwards, you lose O key, but you do 30 to 35 damage on hit. Now, that's up to debate on... It's up to debate on how much damage it should do, but I believe that it should no longer be a launcher. It's a plus on block, pressure tool. That's it. No longer a launcher. I think that would really help out. Help out in nerfing him, but at the same time, it would make the Electric a more unique move, as I do believe that in general every single Electric is a broken move. While Jin's has the worst recovery and the worst tracking out of all of them, it does leave the opponent closer on hit, while Mishima Electrics push them further away. Again, different purposes, different reasons on why you should use it. So I suggest this change because, again, it would nerf the character, and this will be a substantial nerf, but at the same time it will give him some uniqueness. Or should I say, return back the uniqueness. Now, I would like to thank Nova Seiken for he did a couple of videos on Jin, and in general I had an idea to make this video for a while now, but unfortunately due to life I never got the chance to make a better video. I didn't make a chance to make a very detailed video, so I'm just doing this in a stream format, unfortunately. But what I would suggest is, this is a change that I do believe that would come with down 2 nerf, is down 4 doing 13 damage from 11. That's it. That is the change, as I believe that this is a very, very good low poke. It crushes highs. It's -1 on hit. It's -12 on block. Leaves the opponent standing, unseeable. Excellent low. They did nerf the tracking of this of down 4 from previous games, but I do believe that well deserved. The tracking nerf wasn't wasn't really something substantial, but I've started seeing it in some interactions where I would hit in Tekken 7. I am no longer able to hit in Tekken 8, which is perfectly fine. I do not mind that, but do believe that this move should do 13 damage. Next change, again, Nova Seiken made a suggestion. Down 3-4 string full rework. This is a very bad string. The follow-ups are bad. This isn't something that I would suggest using, ever. This is a very, very hit or miss move. The only thing that I can suggest is just doing this neutral. Sometimes. Down 3. Just doing a down 3 sometimes to do 7 damage. It's unfortunately a very bad high risk, low reward string, because on normal hit, down 3-4 isn't a normal hit string. So this is only on counter hit, and you do 18 damage, unseeable low. That would be perfectly fine, actually. Something that I would agree, but it's a counter hit string. Now, of course, if they duck, this is a low high, so even on hit, they can just duck the second one, and you die. This is a very, very bad string, unfortunately. So what I would suggest is that we nerf this move, that we buff this move in a way that would make the down 3-4 a normal hit string. I believe that it should just be a normal hit string. -1 on hit, 0 or +1 on hit. I believe it should be +1. That's it. That's everything that I would do. I would remove the follow-ups. I would remove the down 3-4-4 follow-up, and I would remove the down 3-4-3 follow-up, as I believe these would no longer be necessary. If down 3-4 would do, this doesn't counter hit 18 damage. On normal hit it would do 16 to 15 damage. If it would do 18 damage, unseeable low, low high, I think it would be perfectly fine. +1 on hit, I think in that case it would be an excellent move. Another change that I would like to suggest is, just 1 second, is that we return the, and another just a final thing that I would like to agree with Nova Seiken. Zen up 1 should be 1 frame slower. In these situations, even on block, Zen up 1 will beat out a lot of the options. It's really a noob stomper. It doesn't go to the character and the playstyle of Jin Kazama. This is a very suicidal move. Zen up 1, -16 on block. You throw it out as a Hail Mary. You hope that it hits, because on hit it provides a full launcher. You may continue going further, you get a launcher. What I would suggest is something that I fully agree with Nova, is that Zen up 1 is 1 frame slower, so all mid options can beat him out on block. And what I would also suggest is something that I agree with Nova on this, is Zen up 1, instead of being -16 on block, is -20 on block. So every character can launch punish the suicidal option. That is something that I wholeheartedly believe that Jin as a character does not need and should be adequately punished for. Now, I would like to return back to the subject of lows, as in general, his entire low game had to be fully reworked due to the fact that they added down 2, and that move is one of the best lows in the game. Now, what I would suggest as well is that we put back down back 4. Down back 4 is a low move, tracks to Jin's strong side, and +3 on hit. On counter hit is +13, I believe. Yes, that is correct. +13 on hit without any guaranteed follow-ups. In Tekken 7, in seasons 1 and 2, it was a counter hit launcher. On counter hit, Jin would get a full launcher, and it was very devastating. Minus 12 counter hit launcher. They did nerf it to be -13. So, what I would suggest is, and after that they nerfed it to have just a guaranteed follow-up, that just being the previous down 2, now being down 1+2. What I would suggest is that we return back the guaranteed follow-up. So, if a counter hit occurs, unfortunately my Hori pad sometimes it's hard to press both buttons at the same time. So, on counter hit, we get the crumple state, and then we get the guaranteed down 2, thrusting upper, or down 1+2. Any of those 3 options would be excellent. On the other hand, what I would suggest is that down back 4 tracks Jin's weak side. So, like I said, Jin as a character, everybody states he's a perfect character. I believe that for a perfect character, you need to have 0 weaknesses. Now, I believe that Jin should not have any particular weakness, but at the same time the strengths should not be over the top as they are. So in this regard, I think down back 4 and some other moves should fully track to his weak side, to the left. That being, the opponent can no longer sidestep right the options. Why do I suggest this? Is once we complete with all the nerfs, once we go through all the changes, even those complementary buffs, he will really fall off, and that is perfectly fine. Every character should fall off. Now, I suggest that we provide the fact that he's an all-arounder character and he should be jack of all trades, master of none. The only thing that he should have much above average is the defense, and just due to the parry, nothing else. Movement is suboptimal, sidestepping is suboptimal, offense should be on the completely average side. That's why I suggest some nerfs. That's why I generally advocate for nerfs on Jin Kazama. Defensive options, like I said, the movement is a defensive option. It's the best defensive option in the game. Well, it should be. Apart from that, Jin should have suboptimal movement, and then to complement him, we should have the parry return back to its partial glory. Like I said, recovery frames should remain the same, but everything else should be returned back. That's something that I would suggest. Now, what I suggested were down back 4 buffs, and I think that the move is broken. In general, the move is already strong enough. It's a low that has 2.75 range. Excuse me, 2.70 range. 2.70 range low is an amazing thing to have. It's kind of difficult to position, but on +3 on this distance, not something that I would suggest. Now, again, amazing range. What I would suggest is we cut the range by 0.3. So 2.4. As you see, in general, his lows are able to reach that distance. So we put the range between 2.4 and 2.3. It has a guaranteed follow-up on counter hit. Apart from that, tracks to the left side. And apart from that, what I would like to add is that on block, a lot of characters are not able to punish him properly, as the distance really doesn't shrink, especially on this range. Even the while rising 4 options will miss. Now, what I would suggest is that on block, Jin fully gets close to you. I've talked to some people, talked to some high-level players about this. They don't agree with this change. I think that if we buff the move, as I stated previously, on block they should be next to the target. Of course, there are some characters with 13 frame launchers, that being Kazuya and Eddie Gordo. Kazuya and Mishima, Eddie Gordo are able to launch this, and those are not the counter matchups, but then you should be extra careful on when to throw this out. In general, they started adding 13 frame while rising punishes that are strong, capable, as you already see. The 6-hit Kazama combo, amazing damage, amazing Oki, 37 damage for a minus 13 frame low. I really do believe that this change would help out, so every character is able to punish him, and I do believe that a lot of moves should follow that same regard. Now, another change that I would like to suggest is Zen cancel. In previous games, if you go into Zen stance, there are two. You're able to go into Zen stances by pressing the back option, and you're able to go into by pressing the forward option. Now, I'm suggesting that we put back the old Zen cancel input. In previous games, Zen could be cancelled by pressing down forward and then back. So down forward back. Down forward back. And it was something very, very, very important for a Jin player to do. After forward 4 cancel, back forward 2 3 Zen cancel on block, everything of that sort. So those are one of his main options to cancel the stance. Right now, the Zen cancel looks like this. So go into the Zen stance, you press down forward, and then you press up, back, and back. Because if you press just up, back, there's a cancel, but you're not able to immediately block, because in this game block has changed, so you have to press back. This will cancel the stance, but you'll get hit. And this will make you, excuse me, I haven't played Tekken in a while, my apologies. And this will make you not get hit. So these are my general suggestions. These are mostly nerfs with, of course, buffs, as a lot of the gameplay, a lot of the game style of Jin has been fully changed due to addition of some moves, due to some changes in the system, due to everything. I believe that these changes would be of help. Apart from that, one final change that I would like to suggest is, if we return back the old Zen cancel, what I would like to say is Heihachi Mishima got the same cancel. He's able to go into the rising stance, press down forward, and then back to cancel out of the stance. I do believe that Jin Kazama should be able to do the same thing, because that was previously his thing. They removed that option due to their... I'm suspecting because they want players to play Jin more aggressive. One final change that I would suggest is back forward 2-3. Back forward 2-3 in previous games was an unsafe move. It went between -12 and then -10. So what I would like to suggest is that this move is now unsafe, because there is no reason not to throw it out. It is -9 on block. If you go into Zen Stance, +2 on block. So you have a full mix-up. Excuse me, not a full mix-up, because people can still mid-check you. But in a lot of situations, it is just your turn. If we return back for it to be unsafe, people would be able to go into the stance and then cancel out of it. Much easier. That would make the move safe, but it would provide skill expression to the player itself. The player gives out the turn to make himself safe. If they fail the Zen cancel, they can die. They can be fully launched, mid-tracked. The opponent has ways to play around it. So, I would personally suggest that we fully remove the option of this being safe. Back forward 2-3 has no place in this game to be safe, especially because we already have a safe option. Of course, it is a high, but that is the mix-up. Unsafe mid, safe high, duckable, but if the opponent ducks, they get hit, and then you have a mix-up of your own. These are all of my suggestions. I do believe that some people will agree, some people will disagree. I welcome discussion. I welcome a very open discussion about this. These are my opinions as a Jin main, as somebody who would like to see in general a lot of nerfs in the future for every character. I would like to see nerfs for the systems in play. I would like to see some changes to the rank system. I would like to see changes to the netcode. There are a lot of things that I would like to suggest, but this is no place nor time to do so. With that being said, like I said, please, if you have any suggestions, any discussions that you would like to go over, any opinions of your own, anything, please, I am very open for a civilized discussion. There are a lot of things that I do not know. There are a lot of things that I do know. You're more than able to ask me questions, and I am more than happy to answer them. I understand that a lot of Jin players, well, not in the recent time, but a lot of Jin players can be down players. I really do think that Jin Kazama is too strong. I believe that all the characters are too strong, but I do believe that Jin is a very high contender for a top 5 position. He's 100% in the top 10 category, no doubt in my mind. But I would like to see these changes all happen at the same time, because these changes are very important, because if Jin gets a buff, he will spiral out of control with how broken he is. If Jin gets any of these nerfs, he will actually start falling off heavily. So these are the changes that would make him generally a strong, healthy character with a healthy design, with a healthy game plan, where again, jack of all trades, master of none. Because Jin Kazama, everybody says this character always safe, always safe, always safe. That is true. That is part of the experience. He is safe, but he gives out turn every time. every time he does an option, every time he does a mid, every time he does a high, he basically gives out the turn. He gives out the turn to the opponent, -9. So what I would suggest to anybody facing Jin, anybody facing a good Jin player, sidestep right duck. Sidestep right duck can beat out a lot of the options, and please take your turn. This is your turn. It doesn't have pushback nor the range of Brian's 3+4, so so you are able to pressure Jin back, and you should try stealing your turn, or should I say not stealing, taking back your turn. Every time Jin does something safe and you think to yourself, God, this character is so disgusting, what a stupid character. I agree, but you should also try to play around those weaknesses. Sidestep right duck, taking your turn back, and you will see much more success against Jin. Apart from that, Jin also has a full throw game. Both 1 grab, 2 grab, 1+2 grab. Please, in general, this will help you. Please try learning how to break throws. Of course, one of the things that I would suggest is going to practice mode, putting his lows on repeat from a wave dash. So, wave dash, hell sweep. Sorry, my pad is still a bit new. Wave dash back 4, wave dash down 2. These are unreactable lows fully, absolutely no need to practice them. You will just have to guess. That will be fully guess. A wave dash forward forward 3, a wave dash forward forward 2, wave dash electric, and a lot of the options are able to be beaten even from a wave dash, from a good sidestep right. So that is my suggestion as on how to face this monster of a character. Again, I'm opening a discussion in the comments. I believe in everything that I said, but of course I am also subject to learning new things, so if you have more suggestions, please let me know. With that, I wish you a lovely rest of the day, and take care.